All right. Okay, folks. It is Sunday, October 9th, 2025, here in the United States of America. If you're watching elsewhere, it might already be November 10th. Let me see. Look at my world clock. Let me tell you the places where it's actually November 10th already. It is November 10th in Mumbai, London, Prague, Berlin, Seoul, Tokyo, Jerusalem. All those places, it's already the 10th of October. Here in America, hello, Mizanika. What's everyone sipping on? I'm sipping on some Coca-Cola Zero. I don't usually like diet sodas that much, but Coke Zero has been speaking to me lately. And, if you want something sweet, it's, kind of curves that sweet tooth, and it's got 0 calories. So, your boy's trying to shed a pound or two here and there, So, Ms. Nika says, I like Dr. Pepper Zero. I don't think I've had Dr. Pepper Zero. I should try it out. I think, it's funny. I watch a lot of Good Mythical Morning, and recently they did a which diet soda tastes most like the original, and I think Dr. Pepper Zero won that competition. So as in, not necessarily which one's the best, but which one tastes most like the original. And I like the original Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper? I don't know why I said it like that. So I think I would like Dr. Pepper Zero. But overall, I'm not trying to get too... I'm only using diet sodas to curb my sweet tooth because I've got a crazy sweet tooth. So, I'm not really trying to get down that diet soda road. I still mostly drink water, seltzer, and not seltzer, but sparkling water, still water, sparkling water, or green tea mostly. Ms. Nika says they can't even tell the difference between Dr. Pepper Zero and Dr. Pepper. It's funny, I asked my dad the other day, I said, are diet sodas witch's potion or are they a science miracle? And of course he drinks diet soda like it's water, so he said scientific miracle. But I'm sort of getting more down that train. At first I thought diet sodas are just bad for you, they're just bad for you. And now I sort of feel like they can be a decent alternative to sweets. So scientific miracle, I'm not sure if I'm all the way there, but Sam, how frequently will you be back? I have no idea, Joe. Or Johnny. Johnny Joestar? Joe, I thought you were Joe Joestar. Now you're Johnny Joestar? I'm confused. I'm just playing it by ear. Just sort of letting the wind carry me. When I'm feeling it, I'm here. When I'm not, I'm not. When I'm available, I'm here. When I'm not, I'm not, And that's probably not the best strategy if you want to grow a channel and all that jazz, but I don't really care about that. It's not that I don't want to grow, but I'd rather just have fun with it, And it's not a steady enough income stream for me at the moment to be, at least on this channel, to be putting a ton of time into it. And I know it's you have to put time in it to make it an income. I know. But as of now, I'm just focused on having fun, coming on when I'm available, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, mama na. And yesterday and today, I've been feeling it, So, if you were watching yesterday on Saturday with Sam, I was doing a bunch of Sporkle quizzes, and I really want to I'm already pretty good at geography, but I want to become an expert in geography. So I thought it might be cool to do that while streaming. People can watch, people can learn while I'm learning, and it's a mutual beneficial experience. Sam, have you put down a pool table lately for me, Tony? He's talking about Fortnite, if you don't know. I haven't played Fortnite in a long time. I don't know why, but I haven't. Yeah, for some reason, lately it seems that people's usernames are now a little different. like YouTube is changing how their names are displayed. Like maybe their ats are displayed rather than their display name. Maybe that's what the change they made. Oh, hello, Kevin Belmont Luna. A post-week show. Post-week. This is a post-week show? I'm not sure what you mean by a post-week show. But you're a good man, Kevin. I know that much is true. So come with me on my journey to become a geography expert. And hopefully you can learn along the way. Ms. Nika says, yes, mine was changed too. So is it that they changed it? Like, I can't imagine they changed it. I think what they did, someone tell me if I'm correct, is they just, instead of taking your display name and putting it as your name, they're taking your @ and putting it as your name on a chat. You hear Dems just folded and passed the CR. I heard that happen in the Senate. Did that happen in the House? Oh, Ms. Nika was Tanika Washington. Yes, I know. I remember you, Tanika. Sure missed the live shows. A little secret, if you're watching, you get the inside information on my channel. We're going back to the live format. I think we did it to see if we could really grow doing it just videos, and maybe we didn't give enough time. But we also kind of just missed doing it. The live format was sort of our thing. Not that we're the only ones who go live, but I don't know, it just felt like we had built a cool community and there was good energy during the lives, and we recorded feeling like unmotivated a little bit to just kind of sit in a quiet room and just record. Here's this section, here's that section. So we're like, you know what? The live shows are our wheelhouse. Let's get back to that. So the Dems in the Senate reached a deal. Am I correct? Ugh. Senate reaches deal to extend government funding. A bipartisan deal has been reached to fund the government through January 30th, and a major sign the shutdown is poised to end. Well, that's good news, but if they folded on ACA subsidies, that's not great news. A critical group of at least 8 Senate Democratic centrists, shouldn't it be have? At least 8 Senate, I think their grammar is wrong. Am I right or wrong about that? A critical group of at least 8 Senate centrists has reached, I think that should be reached a deal with Senate GOP leaders and the White House to reopen the government in exchange for a future vote on extending enhanced. So there is going to be a future vote on extending enhanced ACA care subsidies. So that seems good, right? According to people familiar with the discussion, even as the rest of the parties openly pillared the deal, which would finally end the longest shutdown in U.S. history, would include a new stopgap measure to extend government funding until January. Are we just going to find ourselves in another? Philip H. is saying no. So I'm assuming, Philip, it'll never pass in the Senate. So I'm assuming you're saying that they've agreed to a future vote on extending ACA subsidies, but it's not going to come to fruition. Is that what your point is, Philip? Can you expand upon your point? It includes no guarantee from Republicans. Okay, there we go. It includes no guarantee from Republicans to extend the health care subsidies that have been at the heart of the funding fight, but Democrats involved in the talks between the House and the Senate GOP leaders will negotiate on a compromise in the coming weeks. Okay, so it seems like, yeah, they did fold a little bit. That's a little disappointing, don't you think? Yeah, we gave up our leverage. I hear you, Philip. But Democrats involved in the talks believe the House and Senate GOP leaders will negotiate on a compromise in the coming weeks. It's unclear whether that bill would pass the Senate, let alone make it to the House floor. I see. Okay. I'm wrapping my mind around it. They're saying we're going to have a vote. They promised us we're going to have a vote on extending ACA subsidies. And then when the vote comes, Republicans in the Senate are just going to go, bah. And even if it does pass the Senate, the House is surely going to go, bah. Right? Okay, I'm getting it now. That's disappointing. Like, why even do, like, I don't know. I guess Dems are just getting scared. But it seems like from most polling that they were winning the debate on the shutdown. At least 8 Senate Democrats have agreed to vote for the deal, which was brokered Sunday night between the former governors. Shaheen, she's pretty centrist. Angus King, Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, both New Hampshire senators. One of those Democrats is Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, who represents thousands of federal workers. Yeah, you got to imagine Tim Kaine is like, let's get this shutdown over with as soon as possible. ACA is dead in 2026. Seems like it's headed for for bad stuff. Lawmakers know their constituents and expect them to vote for it, and if they don't, they could very well be replaced at the ballot by someone who will. Kaine said of GOP senators who choose not to support extending the subsidies. That's wishful thinking, I think. Why do Dems always cave? Because my dad has a saying for it, because they have no spine. This is like the classic Republicans have no principles, Democrats have no spine. It's like Republicans are willing to let the country suffer just to not add subsidies. And as the country suffers, Dems get scared and cave. Endo Kukin says all this for nothing. That's kind of how I feel. It's like, what was the point? If you're not going to hold out and get what you want, what was the point of the suffering in the first place? You cause all this suffering and you're not even going to get anything out of it. Democrats also secured an agreement from the White House to reverse its mass firings of federal workers during the shutdown, as well as protections against them happening the rest of the fiscal year. That's a fairly good thing that they were able to negotiate. It also guarantees all federal workers will be paid for the time during that they're supposed to be paid. I mean, that's not really getting anything. Some liberal senators have fiercely opposed the plan, including Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut. For me, it's no deal without health care, Blumenthal said, voicing a widespread sentiment in the Democratic caucus. So far as I'm concerned, health care isn't included, and so I'll be a no. Even some centrist-leaning Democrats like Michigan Senator Elisa Slotkin were voicing concerns with the idea on Sunday night. I was involved for many weeks, and over the last couple of weeks, it changed. Last week, it changed, Slotkin said. Noting that she was no longer involved in talks in recent days, but I always said, like, it's going to do something concrete on healthcare, and it's hard to see how that happened. Across the Capitol, House Democrats' leadership sharply condemned the deal. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said his caucus will not support spending legislation advanced by Senate Republicans that fails to extend the Affordable Care Act credits, as we will fight the GOP bill in the House of Representatives. How are you going to fight it, though? Fairly disappointing. I wouldn't say I'm like crushed, just getting this shutdown over and done with, I think is pretty big, and it's causing so much suffering. But yeah, it seems like they didn't really get any concrete agreement on ACA stuff. They got a vote on extending, and it'll be easy for the Senate and the House to vote that down. Hello, Blaze. It's funny, me and my dad, we've said it a couple of times now, it's always the airline stuff that gets them scared. It's interesting. I think the SNAP stuff got them scared too, the Dems, but the airline stuff really scares people. Gray Fox says, what's the plan for the 26 elections? You can't trust the old Democratic guard. Just voting Democrat because they're not Donald Trump didn't work the last time. What do you mean by the last time? I'm not exactly sure your point. So the government might be open by tomorrow, depending on how quick the House acts. I imagine they're going to act pretty quickly. Nothing's going to happen if neither side gives in. At the end, they all got to compromise and reopen the government. Yeah, I hear that. But it doesn't seem like the Republicans really gave up that much. They're like, okay, we're not going to like keep firing thousands of government employees. We're going to pay them, which we're already supposed to, and we'll hold a vote, which is sort of a empty promise. Not necessarily an empty promise. It's a promise that doesn't contain much of anything. President Colletti is back, everyone. When did they write this? Oh, that was November 4th. You know, this is all laden with a lot of politics, right? Dems who vote for it are going to say, you know, well, we got a promise on a vote, and I have to, you know, Tim Kaine's going to be like, you know, I represent so many federal employees, I have to get them back to work and get them paid, and they've got mortgages, and a lot of politics going on. Probably not a lot of concrete improvements for the American people, other than just getting the government reopened, which is a big improvement. Rose says, I thought you quit politics, Sam. I did. This was pretty big breaking news, and I was just sort of interested in it. But today I am learning. I'm trying to become a geography expert, okay? I'm already okay at geography, but I'm trying to become an expert. And I thought, well, I learn, why don't I stream it so you can learn as well? Endo Kukin says, federal workers who probably don't have to worry about the ACA. They definitely don't have to worry about the ACA. Federal workers have pretty darn good insurance through their jobs. Cynthia Gutierrez says, I suck at geography. Well, today you will get better. I guarantee it. Yesterday I got 100% on Europe. I got 100% on the States, 100% on Europe, 100% on the States, 100% on state capitals, 100% on Europe, 100% on Asia, and then Africa I didn't get 100% on, so I'm going to try to get Africa 100% today. I also didn't get 100% on European capitals, but I think I'm kind of far away from getting all 100. There's some that that are just hard, you know. Republicans ousted Kevin McCarthy in the House in 23, so what in the freaking hell is preventing Democrats from ousting Chuck Schumer from the Senate in 26? Nothing. My son knows all the capitals because of the Animaniac song. Do they do capitals in the Animaniac? So they just do states in that Animaniac song. Maybe they do capitals too. I'm looking for geography. Dennis says, did you get the email I sent you? I'm not sure. Probably. Sometimes it's hard for me to respond to emails and DMs just because it's not that I get a lot. I mean, I get a good amount, but they sort of get lost in the mess of my email. Unless I'm like conscious, I'm like, hey, send me a link right now that let's react to, you know, send it to my email. There's a capital song and a countries of the world song. Is that true? Hopefully I don't get claimed. States and capitals.
Your all or part of your money.
I'll blow
The answers.
Here goes.
Someone once told me that he just drew the Mississippi River. Someone just told me that the United States is technically two different land masses. Like there's a lake or a river here or something that divides. So like the East Coast is technically not connected to the west side of the country. Let me see if that's true. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Where is it? I don't know how I'm going to find this out either. Why is this so tiny? Well, the river has land beneath it. Well, so do oceans, technically, right? All right, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out. Forget it.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. There's Montgomery, Alabama, south of Helena, Montana. Then there's Denver, Colorado, under Boise, Idaho. Texas has Austin, then we go north to Massachusetts, Boston, and Albany, New York. Tallahassee, Florida, and Washington, D.C. Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Nashville, Tennessee.
I never knew this was a song.
This used to hang out there a lot, you know. Trenton's in New Jersey, north of Jefferson, Missouri. You got Richmond in Virginia, South Dakota has Pierre. Harrisburg's in Pennsylvania, and Augusta's up in Maine. And here is Providence, Rhode Island, next to Dover, Delaware. Concord, New Hampshire, just a quick jaunt to Montpelier, which is up in Vermont.
This is a pretty good tool to learn it. Sam, how's your pick for 28? What pick?
It's in Connecticut, so pretty.
You think Newsom will be the guy? Seems so at this point. If I was a betting man, which I am, I would put my money on him being the nominee. But a lot can change. But at this moment in time, he's certainly the front runner.
They have wonderful clam chowder.
Why does this guy sound like John Lennon? Is that who he's supposed to sound like? Did that just hit me? Sounds like John Lennon.
Cheyenne is in Wyoming, and perhaps you make your home in Salt Lake City, out in Utah where the buffalo roam. Atlanta's down in Georgia, and there's Bismarck, North Dakota, and you can live in Frankfurt in your old Kentucky home. Salem in Oregon, from there we join. Little Rock in Arkansas, Iowa's got Des Moines. Sacramento, California, Oklahoma and its city. Charleston, West Virginia, and Nevada, Carson City. That's all the capitals there are. Huh?
Oh.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Newsom fan either, but he's got all the momentum and the name recognition right now, you know. Hello, Annie's kid. Nice to see you. They really do every country in this video? Yeah, I think you might be right. Endo.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela,
I mean, Puerto Rico technically is in its own country, right?
Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname.
San Juan? That's definitely not a... Or, did they say San Juan?
Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan.
San Juan is not a country. Isn't that a place in Puerto Rico?
Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece.
Czechoslovakia, now 2 countries. When was this done? What year did this come out? Does anybody know?
Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel,
There's Bob's.
Jordan, both Yemens, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia.
Kampuchea? Is this the old name for Laos? Bernie Sanders is on the podium.
Asia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia.
Borneo is definitely not a country. I can't do Africa because I'm about to test myself in Africa. So I don't want to see it. Can you believe I've met people who don't know there's a state called Washington? Yes. People are pretty bad at geography. I saw some reel the other day that was like talking about how bad people were at geography. And they're like, y'all just have no idea where you are. Like, you're just on this earth and have no clue where you are. And that's kind of how I feel. It's like, I don't know. I like to know where I am. You know what I mean? And like sort of have an understanding of all that. How many countries are in North America? That's a good question. I don't know. Should I do North America? Because I didn't do North America yesterday. But I would like to do... 3? No, way more than 3. It's... North America is Canada, U.S., and then Central America and the Caribbean. Those Caribbean islands are hard, though. It's hard to remember all of them. I think I can. I did a little studying last night on my own. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. 31 people watching, only 19 likes. Some of them are so small. Yeah, some of them are tiny. Let's do North America first. I'll come back to Africa. "23 countries apparently in North America." Okay, so obviously we got the biggest one by land mass, Canada. Biggest one by population, USA. Second biggest by population, Mexico. God, the only issue, I love Sporkle, but the ads are crazy. Okay, in Central America we've got Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, El Salvador. Come on. Honduras, Panama. What's this one? So I always forget this one. It's got a Nicaragua. Nicaragua. I don't think I spelled it right. Hello, Axel. Annie says I went to the Louvre for 5 days I went to Paris for 5 days right before the Louvre break-in. That was an interesting story. I don't know what it is about art heists, but I always get interested in stories about art heists. This is where it gets more tough. So you've got the bigger islands in the Caribbean. You've got Cuba. You've got Jamaica. You've got Haiti. You've got Dominican. Okay, that helps getting a small island. Dominican Republic. I think those are you got the Bahamas, right? Bahamas. You've got Bermuda. No? Is that a country? I guess that's not a country. Alright, the smaller islands. I know you've got... Thank you, George. Your knowledge of geography seems okay, but some people in America are terrible. I'm trying to become an expert, though. Let's see. We've got smaller islands. We've got Trinidad and Tobago. We've got Grenada. Got Saint Kitts and Nevis, I think is one. Oops. Saint Kitts and Nevis. Saint Vincent and... Oh, they just gave me with Saint Vincent. I didn't have to get the second name. I'm still missing 3. Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia. I'm missing 2. Trinidad, Grenada, Bermuda. There's another. Barbados. I'm just missing 1. It's up north. I'm not looking at the chat because I'm trying to get on my own, but this is going to be tough because I'm totally blanked out right now. Nothing's coming to mind. Dominica, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Trinidad, Grenada. Shoot. Virgin Islands are both U.S. Virgin Islands and British. They're not their own country. Bermuda, I already tried that, and that's here, not down here. I know it, I just can't think of it. I've got 5 minutes to figure out this one country I'm missing. That's going to be annoying. Oh, Antigua. And Barbuda. Let's go! Let's see who knew it. Fry knew it. President Khalidi knew it. Kevin Bellman says, I was led to believe that Greenland was part of North America. I've heard that too. Because here it is, right? I mean, it's kind of... I've heard that as well. I don't think Guadeloupe is its own country. All right, now I got to do Africa. Country of Oceania. Now, I'm definitely not good at that. I don't know. There's so many little islands there. You know what I mean? Did Trump give up on Greenland? Who the hell knows, man? Trump is so all over the place on his things he wants to do, and one minute he's obsessed with it, and the next minute it disappears, it feels like. All right, here's the real test. Africa. All right. I'll start at the bottom at South Africa, Lesotho, Lesotho. You spell it. There you go. You guys can't see it, but I'm using spell check. It doesn't pop up on the screen for some reason. Eswatini, Mozambique, Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles, I don't remember what these little islands are. Zimbabwe. Yesterday I could not get that one. Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Malawi. I missed this one yesterday. Kenya, Tanzania. One I forgot yesterday too was Chad. Now I'm blanking on this one. I think this is Central African Republic, right? Central African Republic. No. Democratic Republic of Congo. Republic of Congo. Shoot, what's this one? I'm blanking on it right now. Okay. Rwanda, and the one below you, Rwanda, I forgot last time. It is Burundi. Yep. Then above that is Uganda, Somalia, Eritrea. One I forgot yesterday is Djibouti. Should never forget that one because it's the funniest one. Shoot, what is this one? Zimbabwe, north of Zimbabwe and Botswana. Shoot, I'm totally blanking out on it right now. Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, which I think is the largest land country in Africa, Morocco, Cabo Verde are the islands out there, Mauritania, no? So with an I, yeah. Okay, the one I forgot yesterday was the Gambia, which is inside of Senegal. I also forgot yesterday Sierra Leone, Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, and there was another Guinea I forgot. Guinea-Bissau. Is that it? Guinea-Bissau. Yes. Okay. I think I got all the ones I forgot yesterday, which is good, but also they're top of mind right now. You know what I mean? Okay, Ivory Coast. Oh no, I also forgot yesterday. Burkina Faso. Okay, so we've got Mali, Niger, then we've got Nigeria, Gabon down there, Cameroon, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Liberia, and Ivory Coast. I'm missing 3. Oh, there's this island. It's Sao Tome and Principe. Yes, I also forgot that one. All right. What the hell is this country and why am I forgetting it? Zimbabwe, Basa. And these islands here. I'm streaming right now. I'm in here. No, not right now. What am I forgetting here? And these islands. Namibia, Zimbabwe. That's so weird. I feel like I got this one pretty easily yesterday and now I can't remember. And what are these islands? I got these islands yesterday and now I'm totally blanking on them too. Shoot. Remember, I'm not looking at the chat because I'm trying to get on my own. What is this country? Hey, I'm streaming right now. Did you feed your dog? No. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna kick myself if I get it or if I miss it. Alright, what are these islands? I'm blanking on that. These islands are Seychelles, Mauritius. Damn, I can't remember. I got both of these yesterday and I'm totally blanking on them today. Let me just start with alphabet. Start with an A. Angola. No. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. No. K. L. M. N. Okay, this is not helping. Q R S T U V. Oh man, I can see the chat moving. You guys are probably making fun of me, right? I feel like it's a country that has a pretty big tourism. Damn. It's funny how the brain works. Like I got these easy. I don't even remember stumbling on these at all yesterday, and now I just can't remember. Oh, Comoros. Yes. Oh my God, this is gonna piss me off when I don't get this. South of Tanzania, north of Zimbabwe and Botswana. I'm trying to look at my keyboard to see if any of these letters are sparking. No, I was like, oh, Mozambique. No. I got 42 seconds. God damn it. I can see the chat going on my side of peripheral vision. You guys are like, idiot. It's so obviously. Yeah. I don't know. Fuck. I'm not going to get it in 15 seconds. I'm going to be so pissed when I see it. Zambia. I knew it started with a Z. I don't know why. I just was feeling that it was a Z. Who knew it? Anybody? Yes. President Khalidi knew it. Trolls knew it. Was Sam educated in geography through schooling, or is he a self-learner? A little bit of both. I took human geography in high school, and I just was also interested. I used to ask my dad to. Oh, Vladimir knew it too. A lot of people knew it. Damn it. I used to ask my dad to quiz me on geography when we were like in long car rides or at the dinner table. I just always been interested in learning about the world and different cultures, and just something that's always interested me. And I'm a visual person too, so I like maps. Zambia. Weird. I the thing is too is like I wasn't even. I was feeling that it was a Z, but I wasn't that. I don't think I would have gotten there. Zambia was not floating around in my head at all. Zambia. Let me learn about Zambia a little bit to try to remember it better. It's a pretty cool flag. Zambia, officially Republic of Zambia, is a landlocked country located in Southeast Africa. It's bordered by blah, 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 blah. The capital of Zambia is Lusaka. The population of the country made around Lusaka in the south. Originally inhabited by the Khoisan people. The region was affected by Bantu expansion. What is Bantu expansion? Bantu expansion was a major series of migrations of the Proto-Bantu speaking group, which spread from an original nucleus around West Central Africa. So it started here and spread south. Interesting. Had no idea that was a thing. In 1964, Zambia became independent of the UK. So it's a British colony. I guess I said it was like a touristy spot. I guess that's not that tour. I haven't heard a lot of people going to Zambia. Let's see if we can. If there's any Google Maps. No. Lusaka. Greenland water drilling. Huh. That's random. So this is Zambia, huh? How many countries have I been to outside of the US? I have been to Canada, Costa Rica, Mexico, Bahamas, England, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Czech Republic, Japan, New Zealand. I think that's it, 11-ish. Zambia. Don't forget the Zambia. What are some fun facts about Zambia? Zambia is home to Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls. That's a good one. Lake Victoria is in Zambia. Or Victoria Falls, I mean. Victoria Falls. So that's in Zambia, huh? Right on the border of Zimbabwe. That looks like it's in Zimbabwe. I guess it's literally on the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia. So you guys, aren't we learning stuff? Isn't this great? Wow, this is a cool shot. Whoa, this looks sick. I guess the falls are right there. Can you imagine staying here? That would be cool. I'm trying to get a shot of the falls, though. Okay, here's some. There's a bunch in the middle of the river. Okay, well, that's good to know. That is true. Niagara Falls is in the USA. Lake Kariba. That's this long, skinny lake here on the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia, which I guess eventually turns into Victoria Falls. What's this big ass lake up here? Lake Malawi. Malawi is on Lake Malawi. Now here's interesting. Lake Victoria is all the way up here in Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya. But Victoria Falls is all the way down here. I wonder if they're related at all, or it's just sort of random. Thank you to George again for the donation. I really appreciate that. Lake Malawi. What's this big lake? Lake Tanganyika. Never heard of that before. Lake Victoria is very famous, right? Is that the biggest lake in Africa? What's the biggest lake in Africa? Lake Victoria. This is the biggest lake in Africa. Vladimir said, I want to know where Wakanda is. You have to talk to some Wakandans about where that is. Sam, look up Tent Rocks, New Mexico. Tent Rocks, New Mexico. Wow, that's extremely beautiful. Wow. Wow. That is cool as F, dude. Wow. don't know if I've seen these before. They look like tents. Now, where in New Mexico are the tent rocks exactly? North of Albuquerque, it seems. Oh, and west of Santa Fe. Paul Thomas Anderson really fell off? Why do you say that? Isn't his? I haven't seen his new movie yet, but I've heard very good things about it. This looks like a sick hiking spot. The old New Mexico flag. New Mexico flag, 1912. That was it? No, come on. It can't be. No, come on. That's too horrific. No, this is a troll. This looks like modern logos too. Like that was the flag in 1912. I think you're trolling me. Dude, the New Mexico flag now is like, that's a sick flag. That low key might be one of the best state flags.
Sam, the Senate is voting to end the government shutdown. Do you want to watch?
No. Sam, so many have abandoned New Mexico. It has so much to offer. Yeah, but it's a pretty, barren state. I'm assuming that the economics there are not that great. And he says, I need to move. Where should I move? Well, do you have any, give us something, give us some more, what are you looking for in your move? Where are you now? Do you want warm weather? Do you want a big city? Is Arizona a great state? I have been to Arizona once and I really liked it. But I went to Sedona, which is like a sort of a touristy area. I don't know much about the rest of the state. I keep having to click live to stay live. That's weird. Annie's kid says, I've only ever lived in D.C. and Cali. Okay. Are you trying to stay in America? Do you want to go abroad? That is true. Arizona is hot as hell. Like temperature-wise. I wish I could move to Paris, but that seems like a pipe dream. Why? Try. You could try to teach English in Paris. That could be a way to get like a good visa to Paris. I imagine it's not the easiest thing to get a visa to live in France, but there are probably easy, if you think outside the box, like teaching English, for example. How to get a visa to live in Paris. To live in Paris, apply for a long stay visa. Okay, let's see. Stay for an extended period for tourist or personal reasons. Maybe you could try that at first. Carry out professional activity, pursue education. Let's see, carry out professional activity. Engaging in a professional activity in France is subject to different formalities. Come to France for business. Or you want to start or take part in self-employed activity. I think it's possible if you want to try to get a long stay visa. If you you can go, like, take a TEFL course, and become certified to teach English. That's an easy way to do it, through TEFL, through a TEFL certification. Come on in, Bubs. Come on in. TEFL, I think, so you have to be careful not getting scammed. I think the TEFL Academy has, I'm not, endorsing any of these, but from the research I've done, I think the TEFL Academy is pretty good. And there's like TEFL International, which is also a pretty good company. Yeah, International TEFL Academy. This place is also, I've heard, pretty good to get a certification. So those are two ways you could maybe get your way to Paris. I thought Breaking Bad would skyrocket the New Mexico economy. They do film a fair bit in New Mexico. There is a fair bit of film production there. But also, like, Breaking Bad is kind of about how economically depressed it is there, and how, sometimes you have to resort to selling meth. I don't know what's going on with my streams. My stream during my dad's at the end went haywire. Yesterday was perfectly fine. Now it's going haywire again. I can't believe I only missed one. Now, countries of Oceania. God damn, I don't know these at all, dude. Checking in on the sundown stuff. Senate holds a rare Sunday vote to extend government funding. Now, Senate begins the voting on the bipartisan deal. It's going to pass, probably, right? I mean, Thune commits the healthcare vote no later than second week of December. Have I seen the new Frankenstein? Is it out yet? I don't think... I didn't know if it was out or not yet. Why is my stream being weird? Yeah, it is dark here in the East Coast already. But the weather's been pretty nice, honestly. Hasn't been too bad. Who does good live coverage online? CBS News.
At Constel.
Did Dems fold? Seems like it, yeah. I mean, this is all you're going to see right now. It's just a bunch of people standing around in the Senate, walking around.
Mr. Schumer, no.
Schumer just voted no. There you go. Am I French? I am not French, no. I'm not French at all. I am, on my mom's side, mostly a conglomerate of UK countries. Let me see if I can pull it up. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my ancestry. There we go. Who voted no? Let's see. I am 27% Ashkenazi Jew, Central and Southeastern Europe. 24% Ashkenazi Jewish, Eastern Europe and Russia. That's from my dad.
Mrs. Gillibrand, no.
Gillibrand was no. Guys, you're being very loud. I'm not ignoring you, limited light. What did you say? Sam isn't. Yeah, I'm not at all French. So this is from my dad. About 50% just Ashkenazi Jew. And then this is from my mom. Like, she's Swiss. She always says she's Swiss, so I think that's where this is coming from. Germans in Russia. That's a little strange. I don't know where that came from. 2%. 5% Northeast England. 5% Southeast England. 5% Scottish. 3% Welsh. A little Danish. So I'm mostly Jewish, German, UK, basically. Damn, bro, has heritage where I live in the UK. Where do you live?
Mr. Booker, no.
Booker, no. The Jewish stuff is a little weird because they circle such a giant region. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really narrow it down that much. Germans in Russia, I don't know what the hell that means. You guys want to see my dad's? My dad's is funny. My dad is 99% Ashkenazi Jew, 45% Ashkenazi Jew in Central and Southeastern Europe, 55% Ashkenazi Jew in Eastern and Europe and Russia. So essentially 100% Jewish. It's interesting because I guess they didn't intermarry very often for a long time. My dad was the first one to break that cycle. Yeah, he's part of, I guess, the diaspora that went to Europe. Nightwolf left? I don't know, did he? Why is my streaming quality poor? It shouldn't be poor. That's really annoying. Vladimir says, my DNA test shows that I'm 1% Ashkenazi Jew. Maybe we're related. Maybe. Or Natal says, okay, I am a little confused. What are you confused about? What DNA test is that? That was Ancestry. Yes, that was Ancestry.com DNA results. Ashkenazi Jewish has blonde hair and blue eyes. Maybe some do, but I don't think the majority do. I thought Jewish is a religion. Isn't it technically white? That's a very heated debate. Yeah. I mean, is Judaism purely a religion? Is it an ethnic group? I mean, obviously, if a DNA test can test the DNA of two people, and one, they can tell there's a difference between an Ashkenazi Jew and, say, a Polish person, you've got to imagine that means there is some sort of... And it gets tricky because that's sort of the logic that Hitler used, right? Like, the Jews are different. They're not white. He used that to persecute them. But you shouldn't hide from the facts if they're there, right? If the DNA facts are there. That doesn't excuse persecution. Just because, someone has different DNA than you doesn't mean you should persecute them. So a lot of people, I guess the overarching sentiment is that Jews, you can be Jewish in religion and you can be Jewish in ethnicity. It's both. It's both a religion and an ethnicity. Now, someone who converts to Judaism, like, for example, Ivanka Trump, right? She's just Jewish in religion. But my dad, for example, as you can see in his DNA, there is something in his DNA that distinguishes him as a Jew. I refuse to do DNA testing, shady companies. I don't know. I'm not super worried about it. I don't know if I fully believe it, all because it keeps updating. It said at one point I had Ukrainian ancestry. Now it's mainly Northern Europe. Yeah, I mean, their technology is getting better. So hopefully hopefully it's narrowing down and getting better. And he says, I'd say it's more an ethnicity than religion. That's another thing, too, is you can be ethnically Jewish, I guess. Like, for example, my dad's DNA is ethnically Jewish, but you could also not be religious. So you could be both religiously and ethnically Jewish. You could be ethnically Jewish, but not religious. And you can be religiously a Jew, but not ethnically a Jew. If that makes sense. We're all humans and earthlings. That is true. At the end of the day, I believe humans share like 99% of their DNA with each other. How much DNA do we share as humans? All humans share about 99.9% of their DNA. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we're all pretty much... I mean, I'm pretty sure we share a bunch of DNA with a banana. Do we share with bananas? Humans share about 60% of their DNA with bananas. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, we all are pretty much... We're all Homo sapiens, right? So we're all pretty much identical in terms of our DNA. I also think Jewish history is rich, and I like it too. Although Israel is sort of giving us a bad name right now, which sucks. I mean, that's why these discussions are a fine line, right? Because, like, obviously there are some differences in DNA, right? I mean, 0.1%, right? That distinguishes, your DNA can distinguish you from being from Poland or being from China, and that DNA can change the color of your skin, the color of your hair, etc., right? But at the end of the day, we're all basically exactly the same. So that's why it's like, you know, eugenics and all that stuff was basically bullshit, because we share 99.9% of the DNA. But also, you know, there's plenty to be proud of, you know, your own nationality, your own ethnic culture at the same time. Your nationality and ethnicity doesn't determine your religion. That too. I mean, your nationality is also a whole nother debate. I mean, Americans are all sorts of different ethnicities and religions, right? But we're all Americans. And then there are also some countries that are very homogeneous, like Japan, where most people who have the nationality of Japan are also ethnically Japanese. You know, I think it's interesting. I like this kind of stuff, like demographics and stuff. I think it's interesting, as long as you don't turn it into some sort of racist bullshit, you know. I know Sam went through several dietary phases. That is true. How do you know that? Have I said that before? We've been all the same person at one point. That is true, trolls. That is true. I think the key in this debate is to remember that we share 99.9% of DNA. So ideas of races being smarter or dumber or, you know, all this jazz is all bullshit. And we know that from DNA. But it's also interesting to talk about how humans have moved throughout the earth and how that has changed our skin and our hair. And, you know, I think that's interesting. Our culture, our nationality. It's crazy that it's the 0.1% that makes it's like we share 99%, but also that 0.1% makes each person unique. Like, that's just, I can't really wrap my mind around that mathematically, because 0.1% seems so small, but also each person is so unique. You know, different personalities, different hair, you know, different eyelid shape. Like, that's all 0.1%. That kind of blows my mind. I feel like Putin is giving Vladimir a bad name. I think you're right. Do you know about Sephardic Jews? I do know about Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jew. I mean, this is, again, you know, this is up for, no one knows exactly how this worked, but when Jews left Israel, the diaspora, some went north to Europe, and then some went into North Africa, or into the Iberian Peninsula, or some went further into the Middle East. Like, there were a lot of Jews in Iraq, for example. So those are more Sephardic Jews that stayed in the Middle East, North Africa, maybe some in like Southern Europe. And then the Ashkenazi are the ones that went into Russia, Eastern Europe, etc., etc. Tony says, Sam, please interact with us. I am, aren't I? I'm confused. Dude, why? I'm so upset about my stream right now.